Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Talk. Today we are going to learn about list comprehension of Python, and list comprehension is a very important concept of Python and you must learn it. So without wasting any of your time, let's get started. So first let me tell you where is the real-time use of list comprehension. So suppose this is a list of temperatures. But you can see the values are 221, 235, 276. But here actually what happens, the values are actually 22.1, 23.5, 27.6. So these values are actually decimal values of temperatures. But actually what happens when working with large data sets, some techniques that data collecting institutes are using to save storage and make their data have less space on their computer disks. So this is a common technique that is used, that is not to use the decimal points when storing data. So that's why they are actually use this like this way, without the decimal points. So that means one character less, that means some bytes less. So this is a way of saving some space. So as a programmer, our duty is to actually divide all those values by 10, so that people can get the actual temperature value. So in this case, actually, let's say you have this data in a text file, this temperature values of suppose Monday. You have this data in a text file, and when you open this data with Python, and we will actually cover this later of our course, like how to manage and how to open text files in Python. So let's skip it for now. Just think you have this data stored in a list from a text file or whatever. Now you have to divide this all the values that is stored in this list, all the temperature values. You have to divide it by 10, because you have to get the actual temperature value, that is 22 decimal 1, 23 decimal 5, 27 decimal 6. So for that, to convert it in actual temperature value, you will need to use this list comprehension. So to get the actual temperature values, what you will do now, we'll write a for loop here. For temp in temps, which is our list where all the temperatures are stored, we will do temp division 10, because we want to get the 22.1, so we need to divide it by 10, and we need to divide all the items that are stored in temps list. So that's why I'm doing it. And how can I retrieve these items? Here I will take empty list here, new temps, and this is an empty list, and I'll simply add these new values, that is temp divided by 10, into this empty list, like this. New temps dot, there is a method of list called append, you already know about it, and this is, and now print new temps. Just save it, and I'm going to run it now. Now you will see it's simply returning the values, all the values that are stored in temps with a decimal point. So this thing you have to do to get the actual value of temperature, but the whole thing you can do in one line of code by using list comprehension. So you don't need this explicit for loop here, just deleting it. You can do it here. And also you don't need the empty list over here, because here you will create a list dynamically in this new list, that is temp divided by temp for temp in temps, and now print new temps. So see, same result we are getting just with one line of code, and this code is more readable. So I'm going to explain now what has been done here. I'm creating a new list of temperatures, that is new temps, and within this list, because it is a list, we have added the square brackets, and what we have done, temp divided by 10. Now what is temp? Python will ask what is temp, because we don't have any variable called temp. So for that we are going to use a for loop, implicit for loop that is used inside this list. For temp, that means temp is a variable that will iterate through all the items of this previous list, that means in temps. So this, in this list, all the values are stored in temp in every iteration. So like this, the new temps will be created dynamically. You don't need to create an empty list. So like, and then if you printing the new temps, this value, that is temp divided by 10, will be printed as this output: 22.1, 23.5, and 27.6. So this is the use of list comprehension. Your code will be more readable, so that's why we use it. So as you see, that we have used for loops implicitly in list comprehension. So as we could use for loops here, we can also use if else conditions as well in list comprehension. So where is the real time use of if else condition in list comprehension? Suppose the temperatures values are something like this. So here you can see one value is minus 9999. So organizations that takes this values, and they consider this kind of values as invalid values. So they are not a valid value. So that's why in that case they simply don't want to divide it by 10, or don't want to convert it in an actual value by dividing by 10. So they just want to ignore it, and it is not a valid value, so it is considered to be a no data. So that's why what you need to do, you have to apply a condition over here. So for that, what we can do, temp divided by 10 for temp in temps, if temp not equals to minus 9999. So here what we are doing, let me run it first. Yes, you can see that all the items of this temps list are converted to decimal points, and minus 4 times 9s are ignored totally. So what we have done here, we are storing the new value by dividing the older values by 10, that is temp divided by 10 for temp. Temp is the variable of each iteration. In temps is our older list. If temp is not equal to minus 4 times 9s. So if this temp value is not equal to minus 9999, it will divide all the items by 10, and then we are printing it. So that's what we have done here. Now suppose you want some value instead of minus 9999, because in our earlier version where we have just used if condition, this minus 9999 is totally ignored. So but suppose you want to print some value instead of minus 999. Suppose you want to print it as 0. So where you get an invalid data as minus 9999, you will print it 0. So what you will do, temp 10 for temp in temps, if temp not equals to minus 999, and you have to add an else condition, that is else 0. So if I run it now, you will see there is an invalid syntax error, because you have to remember it and you have to learn it very carefully, that when you are doing list comprehension, and if you are using else condition inside the list comprehension, the order of for loops and the conditions must be simply a different order. That is, you need to take this for loops for temp in temps, after the conditions. That means after your else block, like this. So what it will do, give me temp divided by 10 only if temp not equals to minus 999, else give me 0 for temp in temps. So that you should remember that whenever you are using else condition inside the list comprehension, you have to use the for loop after all the conditions you have written here. So now if I run it, you will see 278, that means 27.8. Then for minus 9999 you are getting 0 as we have mentioned here. So that's it about list comprehension. I hope you have understood it, and if you have any doubt, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with our new video. Till then, bye bye.